how do you keep somebody interested if you're unable to meet them in real life anytime soon? I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn, and I'm here to present this coaching video to you on behalf of Match. Match is here to help you start something real, even if we can't meet people in real life just yet. So I know what it's like. Maybe you've met somebody online that you really like. You think you're a fantastic match for one another. You swap some messages back and forth, and then suddenly you start to think, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to keep this connection alive over the next couple of months when I'm not able to physically see someone? And you may start to feel anxious about losing your potential date's interest before you even have the chance to meet. So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is, if you're feeling this way right now, I want you to try, I know it's hard, to exit this mindset where you feel like the whole outcome of how this date goes falls on your shoulders. Instead, try to remind yourself that dating is very much a two-way process and that you can only build a bridge from both sides. By that I mean, not only, of course, do you need to be proactive at communicating and connecting with the other person, but they also need to do the same in return to build that connection from you. And in fact, that's exactly what you should come to expect of your dates. So try to remember that someone who is in the right headspace to build the kind of committed and loving relationship that you want, they should be really open to getting to know you. They should be making themselves available to have those video chats with you, and they should be equally responsible for keeping the connection alive and keeping your messaging going. Secondly, when you are in a bit of that mindset of, oh, I'm a bit worried I'm going to lose this person's attention, that can sometimes drive you to communicate in a way that isn't really you. You may find yourself over messaging a person, or just saying, hey, how are you? Or struggling to build a conversation, almost because you want to check in with them every day just to make sure that they're still interested. So before you send that reach out message, I just want you to check in with yourself and look at what's motivating you to get in touch. You should be motivated to get in touch with someone because you're curious to get to know them more, or you have something you want to share with them. If you are doing it instead from a space of feeling pressure or concern or worry that if you don't send a message today, they're somehow going to meet somebody else, what we really need to look at here is keep encouraging you to build your self-esteem and self-worth. You really are deserving of the loving and committed relationship that you want. So I need you to start to trust that the right people out there are going to make just as much effort to get to know you. So instead of just going for daily check-in style messages, I want you to give yourself a bit of slack here to build this relationship and this trust up more gradually. Remember, a great relationship isn't built overnight. Instead, it has to be put in place block by block. So how can you start to really build that connection with a person? I would encourage you, instead of sending that sort of like, do you still like me message, I would instead go for sending messages that are more meaningful and more purposeful. Luckily, in our modern day and age, we have so many amazing ways of communicating with people. And instead of sending a sort of, hey, how's your day going message every morning, at the start, it actually might be more impactful and build more connection to send messages less often, but use messages that create more impact and build more intimacy. A good example of this could be you sending a 20-second voice memo on WhatsApp to see how a person is. Often when someone actually physically hears our voice, it builds a much deeper sense of connection than just getting a kind of a standard small talk message out of the blue. Could you also send the odd picture of what you're getting up to during your day? Could you send a funny video of your quarantine diary? Could you, instead of talking 24/7, instead choose to clearly communicate when you're available for a video date? You may find sometimes that swapping lots of messages back and forth is comforting, but if instead you're struggling to keep the conversation alive and you're messaging out of pressure, I'd encourage you instead to ditch that way of approaching dating and instead to just clearly communicate, I've just got to go to work, start my work right now, but how about I call you later this evening? Or how about a video chat this weekend? As long as you're being clear about what time you're available and you're always suggesting ways that you can communicate and connect more, the other person is still going to understand that you really like them and that you want to connect. So remember, try to get outside of that mindset of how do I keep this person interested, and instead go, you know what, I am interesting. I really deserve that level of connection from someone. That's what I expect. I trust and believe it's going to happen. So I'm just going to keep gradually getting to know people, and I'm going to remember that what's really important for me in a future partner is that they make just as much effort to get to know me. Anyway, I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn, and I will be back again soon on behalf of Match to give you another dating advice video. In the meantime, please stay safe and stay well.